Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my Game Week 9 transfer plans. I initially had plans to bench boost in Game Week 9, but I may delay it to Game Week 11. We'll see what happens and I'll share my thoughts in today's video. If you guys enjoy it, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And just before we get on with today's video, I apologize if I sound a bit different. I am a little bit under the weather and that's why this video has also been a little bit delayed. Please do bear with me, but hopefully the content still is going to go as per usual today. So for Game Week 8, just to quickly wrap up how I did, now that the West Ham game is also over, my scores are all out and I had 71 points that I scored in Game Week 8, bringing me to a total of 488. So I haven't broken the 500 club yet. I know a lot of you guys have already hit that. I'm currently now ranked at 1 million, so not exactly where I want to be, but again, I'm not too fussed about it because it is still rather early in the season. Around maybe game week 12 or 13, that's when I'll start to assess again where I'm at, but hopefully by then I'll be somewhere in the top 500k at least. So looking at my Game Week 8 scores, Nick Pope scored 2 points. Unfortunately, Newcastle didn't keep a clean sheet. Dubravka on the bench there scoring 9 points. So had I started Dubravka ahead of Pope, which honestly speaking, I wasn't that close to because I didn't rate the Burnley defense that well. So those of you who went Dubravka ahead of Pope, kudos to you guys. Massive points there. But I left him on the bench. And Dubravka is also someone that a lot of people had on their bench as bench boosters. And therefore, you guys probably had a huge bench boost score as well. So let me know in the comments down below if you were one of those who bench boosted. Good scores all around, I would imagine. And then in defense, there's Timber and Gabriel, both with very good scores. Timber with a clean sheet, Gabriel with an assist and also mopping up bonus. For Diouf here, I'll be honest and I didn't expect that he would be benched. He only came on at halftime in the West Ham versus Brentford game. So I'm honestly not certain now whether he will start in Game Week 9, and that also casts a bit of doubt as to whether I should be using my bench boost in Game Week 9, but we'll speak about that later on. But for Game Week 8, he didn't keep a clean sheet and only scored 1 point, so very disappointing. In midfield, Ismail Assar blanked. Of course, Mateta goes on to score a hat-trick, and I had Mateta in my previous on my original team before I wildcarded, so I sold Mateta. And that obviously means that had I not wildcarded, I would have gotten his points. But overall, when I compare the two scores, it wasn't too far apart. So at least now that I've wildcarded, I've already taken advantage of some price rises for a lot of these players. And also, my team is better set up for the future. But I do have plans eventually. If I need to bring Mateta back in, I'll speak about that later on. And then Saka with a 7-pointer. He didn't get any attacking returns whatsoever, but he hit 12 DEFCON points. So that's great that it's another avenue of points for him. Semenyo with 4 points here. He could have gotten awarded one more assist, but there's a lot of debate going on. I don't want to engage in that. He wraps up with 4 points. Enzo Fernandez, which there was so much speculation before the game week as to whether he will start. He ended up not being in the squad even. So Rodon comes in for me on the bench, first on the bench, and I get an extra 1 point there, but that's already factored into the 71 points. And then forwards, Ultimata scores yet again, so that's great. I mean, I'm happy that I went with him over Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who initially was in this spot. His 8 points here definitely helped to pull the scores up and also bring me to a green arrow. I'm happy that I have him because a lot of people will now be moving for him given how consistent he is, and Newcastle's fixtures moving forward from an attacking standpoint is pretty good as well. So I'm happy to have him here on the wild card as well. Haaland with 26 points because I captained him, and then Bowen was, I would say, one of the more disappointing assets. I genuinely thought that West Ham would do much better. I was definitely taking a gamble as well, and it didn't pay off. Hopefully in Game Week 9 when they play Leeds, it starts to return a little bit, but we'll see what happens. And also that I'm doubled up on West Ham now in Diouf and Bowen also makes me think whether it's worth a bench boost in Game Week 9 or not. So we'll speak about the bench boost later on. Dubravka here on the bench, as I said, 9-pointer. Rodon, Caicedo, and Senesi all pretty much didn't really get high scores. Caicedo didn't start because he wasn't fit to start and only came on at halftime, finished the match with 1 point. But he is pictured in midweek training. It's likely that he'll feature against Ajax as well. So at least that's good that he's fit and ready to go. But Enzo, again, we don't have any news on him yet. So eyes peeled for any trading pictures or any press conference updates. But for now, in Game Week 8, this was how I scored. Let's take a look now at my Game Week 9 team, speak a bit about the bench boost, some transfer plans that I have, and also whether I should delay the bench boost to Game Week 11 or not. So this is my team on the FPL.team transfer planner, and for Game Week 9, this is how it looks like. Originally, the plan was to bench boost here, but I have a couple of doubts. So if I do bench boost, of course, I'm counting on all 15 players, but I do see some areas I'm not comfortable with already. Firstly, is Diouf going to start against Leeds? If he does, I think it's a good fixture, but I worry that Kyle Walker-Peters will start ahead of Diouf again, given that when he came on in the second half, Diouf didn't play very well against Brentford. So that's one. Secondly, is Enzo Fernandez going to be fit or not? I did definitely take a gamble on him being fit by the time Game Week 9 comes around, but he's still not pictured in training. Will he make this Sunderland game? We don't know. If he doesn't, I think I'm more inclined to just delay the bench boost. So that's the second doubt. And obviously, when it comes down to having a bench boost, you're counting on all 15 players. I think Crystal Palace here playing Arsenal is not super ideal for Ismail Assar. So if I delay the bench boost, then one of the benefits is that I don't have to play Sa against Arsenal. I can just bench Ismail Assar. So say, for example, I don't play the bench boost. How would I set up in Game Week 9? Likely, I would drop Ismail Assar down to the bench. I'm happy to play Caicedo against Sunderland here. Diouf, if I'm not confident he starts, I'm happy enough to start Senesi against Forest at home, because Forest are struggling, and I do back that Senesi will get a clean sheet at home against them. Then in terms of this last player here, Enzo Fernandez, if he does not play, I can very well choose to start any one of these players currently on the bench. I mean, right now, I could go for Rodon, but it means that I'll be playing Bowen against Rodon. I could come down to, playing Ismail Assar again, or if I get, some form of news that Diouf will be playing against Leeds because this is the early kickoff, then it could look something like this, right, for Game Week 9, which I don't think is bad at all. And in terms of keepers-wise as well, I could actually start Dubravka against Wolves, because Wolves are struggling at this point. I could start Dubravka ahead of Pope, but I think I'm more likely to start Pope here. So in terms of Game Week 9, if I delay the bench boost, I'll likely set up with something like this, and I'm again going to be banking on some of my differentials to do well, such as Bowen here. Happy to have Voltemada. I think fixtures-wise for this team is quite strong, so I'm happy enough with that. Now, rolling into Game Week 10 now, this is not a good week to bench boost because Bournemouth will be playing Man City. So I think this is a week that I definitely wouldn't play the bench boost. And now when I look at, also to mention as well, Dubravka will be playing Arsenal. So not a good fixture for my bench keeper. So coming into Game Week 11 now, this is a week then that I think I could play the bench boost chip, which is why I'm not so fussed about playing it immediately in Game Week 9, which was the original plan. I always knew at the back of my mind that I had this Game Week 11 window where a bench boost is viable for the way that I set up my team as well. So you see in the starting 11 here is great fixtures for all of them. On the bench, Dubravka has West Ham. For Rodon, he has Nottingham Forest. And in terms of Crystal Palace, they play Brighton as well. So I think it's pretty alright. And then on the bench last on the bench is Enzo Fernandez against Wolves. And this is when, hopefully by Game Week 11, he comes back. So actually, I don't have to make any real transfers in Game Week 11 to play the bench boost. So that's why I think I'm alright to delay it. Say, for example, the only doubt here for me, which is Diouf. If I want to replace him, I could very well just do Richards, because this was a move that I already had planned. So Richards in here against Brighton, that's alright for me. Or if Joachim Andersen is fit, because right now he's currently yellow flagged, but if Joachim Andersen is fit, Joachim Andersen here against Everton, that's alright as well. So we'll see what happens overall. But if I just kind of put Diouf back here, you see that I do have two windows. So I'm kind of toying around with the idea of delaying the bench boost to Game Week 11. And again, going back to Game Week 9 per se, I don't actually have to make any real transfers. It's more about whether I want to play the bench boost chip or not. If I don't, then it's about shuffling my first 11 to make sure that I'm fielding the strongest 11 players for my team. So there we go with my Game Week 9 transfer plans and also a bit of chip strategy. Let me know what you guys think. What should I do? What are your thoughts in terms of your own transfer plans as well? Drop it in the comments down below. And thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And I will catch you guys in more Game Week 9 content coming very, very soon. Bye-bye.